Welcome to Tom Sawyer Country Coffee.
Tom Sawyer Country Coffee only roasts the finest organic coffee for our signature blends. Enjoy a cup at our coffee shop and local businesses and organizations across the region.
I'm Tom Sawyer, and we choose the Pacific Northwest.
Last year alone, Avista customers saved over 53 million kilowatt hours of energy, enough to power more than 4,000 homes for an entire year. Way to save, everyone. Way to save. Find your way to save at avistautilities.com.
What? You haven't been to the library lately? Stop in today and see that the library is more than books. Spokane County Library District facilities feature on-site technology, including Wi-Fi, computers, and printers, as well as free use of meeting rooms. The Library District offers events and programs for all ages, from story times to career development and employer classes to Social Security workshops. Our staff is well trained and happy to help. Find out more about your library at scld.org.
Oh, welcome back to Spokane Talks Live. Kent Adams here, and who are you?
Am I?
Yeah, I don't know. Trouble.
Yeah, trouble. Mostly trouble.
Yeah. See what I have to endure here. Tommy Williams.
How you doing?
Now, I'm doing fine. I've never met you except
Okay.
on Facebook.
Okay.
And I was telling Colin before the show, because I think you even asked, how did you meet Tommy? And I said, through Facebook, like where you meet everybody.
Like, duh, yeah,
And the thing that impressed me to start with, I see pictures of you and mainly your family all the time.
Yeah.
And I was so pleased to see some smiling kids.
Yeah.
They all have such great
Yeah.
smiles.
Well, thanks.
Yeah, and I thought, what a neat family.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm
and
a
then,
blessed man.
Yes. And then I saw what you were doing in terms of some things. And then, now I think a month ago, you said something to the effect that you had met a young black teenager who was saying something about not having purpose in life
Right.
and that sort of thing, and that got to me.
Yeah.
And you were kind of reaching out like, this is sad, we need to do something about that.
Yeah, it was a cry out. I
Yeah.
mean, he was crying out, but as, I don't know, as a comforter, counselor,
Yeah.
coach, motivator, you get your cup to where it's just half empty.
Yeah.
It wasn't half full that day, it was half empty. And I just had to reach out and just talk to people I knew, which is Facebook. We're all close, right?
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Couple of friends you talk
What time?
to.
What time is the barbecue? We're
Yeah,
coming
exactly.
over.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. I
How
only
many
told a
people
couple of
talked
people.
about barbecuing this weekend.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was trending.
None
yeah.
of them gave addresses.
Yeah,
though,
no,
if you notice.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
But it's true though, and so I guess one is I want to know a little bit about you,
Okay.
about your organization,
Okay.
and then how do we help kids like that you were dealing with
Right,
that day?
right.
Because for someone who 40 some years ago was a YMCA director, and I've
Okay.
been in Big Brothers and
Okay.
and a number of things over the years, I get concerned that we're not mentoring some kids that we should be.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And so talk about who you
Okay,
are.
who I am? Yeah, I'll start there. So I'm originally from Chicago,
Okay.
from the south side of Chicago, and I love football.
That alone can be tricky.
That
isn't it?
alone could be very tricky.
Yeah.
It's I grew up it was middle class neighborhood. I had a mother, had a father. They sacrificed a lot to pay for us to go to a Catholic school. So I grew up in the Catholic school system
Okay,
there
okay.
because of the way the public schools are.
Yes.
And even right now, I mean, they
Yeah.
don't even have retirements, and the state is going through bankruptcy.
Yeah.
It's horrible, some
No,
of the
it
things
does
that's
not
going
look
on.
good, does
It
it?
doesn't look good at all. So I grew up in that system. But I was bullied a lot growing up. I was an overweight kid. I was the only boy. I had two sisters. So with being overweight and being teased and not having anybody to help. So with that, that's who I was elementary. But I grew up to be 6'4", and I got bigger.
Yeah, I
and
noticed you got a little bigger.
Yeah, started playing football, and my dad was my original coach and got me involved in sports, and it just changed my life. It taught me work ethic. It taught me how to overcome adversity, how to communicate, team play, the whole nine. So I played college ball, so I got recruited to play all over Illinois and Michigan, and one school. Because I went to a community college my first 2 years.
Okay.
So there was this one school called Eastern
lot of us
Washington.
did.
Yeah. Well, it's a smart thing to do.
Yeah.
I mean,
It really is.
it saved my life. You had to do it that way. So Eastern Washington University, they didn't go to my community college to talk to me because my community college was like an hour away. I commuted back and forth, and so I had a good football season first and second year, and all of the college recruits would come and talk to me at the college. So Eastern Washington said, well, you know what, we want to meet you and your family. We want to come to your house. And I'm like, no, just come to the college. I'm making my own decision where I'm going to college. And I tell my parents where I'm going. And Coach J.D. Solers was his name. And J.D. said, no, I want to meet your parents. So he flew into Chicago. And actually the story is he flew into Indiana, borrowed his uncle's truck, and went on a recruiting trip. And he recruited a defensive end out of Nebraska, Derek Hart. And he recruited me out of Chicago. They called us bookends, and so he came to my house and talked to my parents, and we want to invite him out on a recruiting trip. And I'm thinking I'm going to D.C., Washington, D.C. I'm here, Eastern Washington. Nobody knows where that is. When you're a 19-year-old kid in Chicago, all you care about is the south side of Chicago. That's all I knew. So Eastern Washington, and I get on the plane, and I tell people the story.
This is a longer plane flight
Oh,
than I thought.
exactly. And I'm like, wait a minute here. I'll pull out the United flight. I just had, you guys are talking about direct flights. This wasn't a direct flight back then, so I had I had a connecting flight out of Minnesota. So I get to Minnesota. I look, I can't wait, D.C. I'm like looking, Cheney, Spokane. I'm like, where in the heck is that? So
Why are we
I
going
look
west?
Yeah, and I'm like, well, where am I going? So I get off the plane. This is in '91, and evergreen trees all over the place, and it was just. And I'm thinking to myself, there's no way I'm going here. There's I was like, I am not going to be this far away from home.
Right.
So I get home from the recruiting trip, and my parents were like, how did you like it? I'm like, it was good, but I'm not going there. And they were like, oh, yeah, you are. They're like, we just talked to the coaches, and we committed for you, basically. You are going
do
there.
that sometimes.
Yeah. So, and I'm like, you guys don't love me. You guys are throwing me away. You know how long it is to get here? And they were like, yeah.
That's part of the deal.
So it saved my life. I mean, I was the victim of a violent stabbing in my senior year in high school. I was stabbed in the leg, and it was higher up, in the thigh. I almost hit the main artery there, and it would have been a gunshot, 20 years later.
Yes.
But so my parents were really like, you got to get out of here. You got to get out of here, and it did. It saved me. So
Got to be safer than where we are.
Oh yeah, basically, yeah. So. Played football at Eastern and did well there. Got my bachelor's in criminal justice and played in the Canadian Football League for Winnipeg.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I did that.
See, I
broke
didn't
my
know
ankle.
any of this.
Yeah. So pretty interesting. Kind of a, I don't know. I call it like a Benjamin Button, Forrest Gump type background. So many different careers.
But you liked it here because you stayed.
I stayed, and it was it grew on me once I started having kids. And
I was going to say, you met somebody.
Yeah, exactly. It made me stay. And, when you start having kids, you find a wife, and, and then you're alum. So that means something too. So you don't want to go that far away from your university and your ties and your connections. So I, went there and then went to grad school at WSU.
Okay.
So,
wow. Okay. So now tell me about its Operation Healthy Family.
Yes.
How did that start? You're co-founder.
Co-founder, my wife and I founded this organization. We're faith-based, so I worked for Child Protective Services at the time.
Okay.
Second day on the job.
How long ago?
It's been 3 years now.
Oh, okay.
I now work for the Spokane School
daughter,
District. Was your,
Nancy Sundin.
I know Nancy.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Now that I hear you, I hear Nancy too.
She's taking me to.
No way.
She's taking me
Nancy
to the opera.
drives the
This
scooter,
is a
right?
small,
Does she have the
small world.
No, Nancy doesn't.
No.
Nancy, short.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Most
Nancy.
of us are in our family.
Yeah. I do know Nancy. That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's funny.
second day on the job there, and I got my caseload, and I said, Lord, I can't do this. This is a hard. And I did probation.
It's almost pretty much all negative stuff.
Oh,
isn't it?
negative, 99%. But I came up in criminal justice, so I did probation officer,
Oh,
correction
right.
officer,
So
bailiff.
you got the
I got that part
you
of
got
it.
the bottom of the
Right, and I thought, well, going to work with kids, you know,
Mm-hmm.
CPS, you know, and but when you start reading these cases and you start
filling
hearing,
out forms.
and it's just a big bureaucratic machine that you make
Yeah.
you know, you can make a smart decision and say, hey, why don't we do it this way? And they're
Yeah.
like, no, we don't do that here. Sorry. You
Okay.
can't be smart like that. Yeah. So second day on the job, I said, you know what, I can't do this. So I ended up, we started an after-school football program in 2 schools, and it's grown to whereas now we have 2 significant programs in oral health and athletics. And we are helping kids brush their teeth in the classroom. We're helping people get into dental appointments that can't get into the dentist.
Yes.
We help kids that want to play sports, that can't afford to play sports.
Yes.
So it's just not giving them, we call it a hand-up program. It's not a handout.
Right.
If you want to play a sport, okay, we're going to teach you the skill. We're going to show you how to do it. But then also it's going to be a lifelong lesson
Yes.
about healthy habits and everything else.
Yes. Sometimes we don't look at that, and sometimes it becomes, well, you try to be a basketball player or whatever it may be,
Right.
versus skills that you can use later in
Yeah,
life.
yeah.
Because when we're 70, we're not going to be playing
Wow,
basketball.
yeah.
You know?
Well, exactly. So I'm pretty sure you can rely. I mean, you go back to childhood and you go back. It's like having your own Rolodex of experiences,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So when you go through sports, for me, it taught me a lot about just who I am and how I carry myself. You know.
Because of a little glitch we had, we're kind of running behind.
Okay,
And
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I want to do 2 things. I want to talk about how do we help the kids like that you pointed out a few weeks ago. How
Okay.
can the public help somebody who's kind of looking at life isn't treating me well,
Right.
it's not going well. My guess is there are things at home that are dealing with that
Right.
that young man
Well-
or young lady and so forth. But
How can you help?
Even through your organization, even.
Yes, so you can volunteer.
Okay.
We're always looking for volunteer coaches. We're
Okay.
looking for volunteers who just like to serve, and we just like to interview our volunteers. What's your background? What's your experience?
Right.
And place them within our organization. You can give. We have
Okay.
online donations. We are faith-based, grassroots, but we're no longer grassroots. We are, I call us landscapers now. We planted the seed. The grass has grown. We're
grown.
cutting grass now. It's not,
Yeah.
so it's no more grass roots. I mean, now we have to pay to cut this grass.
Yeah.
And,
I hear you.
and so as executive
Where are you
director.
based?
We are based in 2 locations. We're based out of the Emmanuel Family Life Center.
Okay,
and So
okay.
we're based on campus there.
Okay.
And then we also have an small, quaint little athletic facility that I do athletic workouts and
Okay,
sports training with
okay.
kids. So
And I keep seeing pictures of you coaching teams and
Yeah,
your
I'm
kids
all over the
and,
place, yeah.
and everything else. Now,
Yeah.
some of your kids old enough that they're coaching now?
yes, so my oldest is coaching the team. I have
Seems like
6
you have
boys.
one that must be in college or
I have
close to
3
it.
in college.
Oh, okay.
So we have 6 boys. I have 2 playing college basketball. One is transferring from Whitworth to Eastern. And I have a 16, 11, and 8-year-old. So the reason why Operation Healthy Family started was because of me being a dad and a husband.
Yeah.
And we're raising our sons to
Yeah.
be husbands.
Yes.
So it's a ministry.
I love your approach.
Mhm.
I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
2 things. We need to have you back.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Love to come back.
also want you to come on one of our half-hour shows.
Okay, I would love to.
We'll do that.
Okay.
I also want to send out Colin or Gunnar or somebody with a camera to document what you're doing out
That'd be
there
awesome.
and do a show.
Yes, that'd be awesome, yeah,
Because these
yeah.
are the kinds of things, we can talk politics, we can talk government and everything else.
Right.
You
but
don't hear this stuff.
No, you
It's
don't.
so
But when-
amazing.
When you got somebody like you and your wife, obviously, that
Yeah.
are passionate about this,
Right.
that will make a difference
Yes.
in so many lives. So
Back to the basics is what we call it.
absolutely,
The village.
absolutely.
What
Yeah.
happened to the village?
Yeah,
It says
yeah.
to raise a
Well,
child,
we
but
keep saying someone else will take care of it, and it's
kicking the
up to
can
us.
down the road. Can't
Yeah.
kick the can no more.
So much. Tommy, I appreciate
you having
in.
me. Oh, yeah.
Give your website so people can learn more.
ohfspokane.org, and that's Operation Healthy Family, so it's an acronym, ohfspokane.org, or like us on Facebook, Operation Healthy Family.
Great. Thank you for coming
Right,
in.
thank you so
We're going to
much.
take a quick break, and we're going to come back with John.
Cool. Thank you.
Hey everybody, Josh with Rugged Trading Company. We're at a client's house right now. They're getting ready to move. We just got a great load of stuff from these folks. Today we picked up a beautiful furniture set and a patio set right here in our trailer. We come to your house. We take just about any item that has a $30 value or more, and we list it on our website. Great stuff on our website, ruggedtrading.com. Hope to see you there.
Welcome to Tom Sawyer Country Coffee.
Tom Sawyer Country Coffee only roasts the finest organic coffee for our signature blends. Enjoy a cup at our coffee shop and local businesses and organizations across the region.
I'm Tom Sawyer, and we choose the Pacific Northwest.
Last year alone, Avista customers saved over 53 million kilowatt hours of energy. Enough to power more than 4,000 homes for an entire year. Way to save, everyone. Way to save. Find your way to save at avistautilities.com.
What? You haven't been to the library lately? Stop in today and see that the library is more than books. Spokane County Library District facilities feature on-site technology, including Wi-Fi, computers, and printers, as well as free use of meeting rooms. The Library District offers events and programs for all ages, from story times to career development and employer classes to Social Security workshops. Our staff is well trained and happy to help. Find out more about your library at scld.org.
Welcome back to Spokane Talks Live. My co-host is, who are you? Collin Pittmann. Okay. And we have a guest on the phone.
We do.
And this is a topic that is actually near and dear to both of us because Collin, your dad, Jeff Pittmann,
Yes.
has served on the board of the Washington Farm Bureau.
He's been
and so
Farm
forth.
Bureau for
and
a long
I think
time.
he knows John. John, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. Do you know Jeff Pittmann?
Sure, no, Jeff.
Yeah, well, his son is co-hosting with me today. So, yeah. Hey, we haven't talked on this program, and there's something that's really bothering me, and that's this initiative that's being promulgated to slow down and fine and stop not trucks, but trains that come through Spokane. And I'm not sure. Do you know what the current status of this is?
So, yes, for the city council, I think it's, or not before the city council, before the voters.
Okay.
This fall.
I think they're counting names and verifying this week, if I remember right, or next week, right?
Yeah, my understanding was there were, well, the supposition was sufficient numbers were submitted.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know if it's definitively absolutely on the ballot yet or not. I don't know if it's gotten that signature stamp yet.
Okay. So does with this initiative, it doesn't need to go through the Spokane City Council? It can go direct, or does it go through the City Council?
I'm pretty sure it goes on the ballot.
Okay, direct, assuming that the number of signatures are valid and all that.
Right.
You know, John, I'll have to admit, back in 8th grade, one of my favorite teachers taught U.S. history, and one of the things they taught me was the Constitution. And clearly, in the Constitution, it talks about regulating interstate commerce. And I have no idea why these people are thinking that a local entity can overrule things that were set up by the U.S. Constitution. Am I wrong?
That's absolutely the core of this issue. Is you have this Commerce Clause provision, which does indeed protect interstate, because all 50 states have to cooperate to get the nation working.
Or you would have a mess.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, tell me what impact that this is going to have if it is passed. Number one, there's going to be a cost for those of us who want to oppose it to take it to court, right?
Yes, absolutely. The first thing is it would necessitate a challenge, a legal challenge, because frankly it's not constitutional, so it's not lawful. So it would have to be challenged, and that of course takes money, and it's going to cost. Frankly, the voters will be paying the lion's share of the bill.
So we have elected people who are pushing this. because we know at least one city council member in Spokane is pushing it, even though not through the council, but through the initiative process, and others that you and I, well, you won't because you're not here in Spokane, but those of us in the Spokane area will have to ante up the dollars to fight this.
That's right. And in the end, regardless of how it comes out, there is no winner, right?
Right.
The taxpayers will lose money because
the attorneys,
even if it's
the attorneys
upheld,
win.
they lose
You
the
know,
economic value of a railroad that goes through the town or the city.
Yeah. What does this mean for wheat farmers? Here I'm sitting next to Collin, and his family and his dad work two wheat farms. What does this mean for folks like that?
Well, yeah. So my family's also wheat farmers in Lincoln County.
Ah, okay.
So, just west of town. So it's actually a terrible precedent on a couple of levels. One is the railroad is our lifeblood, farm to market system. It relies on the highway system and county roads,
right,
and the barge traffic down the river, Columbia River, and it relies on a working railroad network. And those of us who've been around long enough know that there have been a lot of railroads, lines, spur lines, et cetera, abandoned. So we need a world-class, farm to market system, and the railroad is one of those. And railroads run, east, west, north, south, but it's truly interstate commerce that they're carrying. And they go through, if you will, pinch points or particular locations, including Spokane, where you have those big rail yards where you do, transfer of trains and all of that. So it affects every commodity that a railroad handles. And ag is still a significant share of the mix of products that railroad handles. But it's significant for other traffic to also bear the cost of keeping up the rail system.
Right.
So that's the big deal for us as wheat farmers and other producers, is you got to have others sharing the burden of the cost of the railroad.
Right. Well, I guess the question is, what can we citizens do who oppose this initiative? Obviously, vote against it when it comes up, if it does come up in November. But what else can we do?
Well, I think that's the move towards the grassroots activists. I mean, there's some folks that have said we can't have carbon shipped through Spokane County. So the real issue are city limits. So the real issue is, can you or can you not, and does this affect our globe or not? Because the product is going to move one way or the other through, and as those who are consumers, you should be concerned if you're a consumer,
right,
you should be concerned if you're a shipper, both ways. So everybody should be concerned about this and the impact on our nation. But just speaking to local elected officials, as well as trying to get that message out there with your neighbors. Talk to your neighbors across the fence row or across the street.
Okay.
Let them know that this thing's out there, and it's a terrible idea. It will significantly negatively impact Spokane and, frankly, the rest of the country if it were to pass.
Right. Well, John, we want to watch this. We want to watch it closely. Let's plan to have you back on at least every 3 to 4 weeks and do an update on what's going on and keep us tuned in and where we might get additional information and so forth. Will you do that?
Definitely.
Absolutely happy to do that.
All right. John, thank you very much. You have a good day.
All right. Thanks. You as well.
All right. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back right after this.
Last year alone, Avista customers saved over 53 million kilowatt hours of energy. Enough to power more than 4,000 homes for an entire year. Way to save, everyone. Way to save. Find your way to save at avistautilities.com.
See you tomorrow night, and thanks again for taking care of the painting.
I got this.
Bye.
Weekends are made for painting. Let the experts at Rada Paint take care of you.
Hi. This looks amazing.
Rada Paint, over 80 years of quality, tradition, and trust. Find it in every can.
To find the right home for you, you'll work with your realtor to compare the properties you're interested in, analyze the market, and figure out a reasonable offer price. And now, here you are, ready to make an offer. Yay, you! Here's how it works. First, you'll complete an offer sheet which your realtor will then present to the owner. Sometimes, a nice note to the owner can help your offer stand out. Butter them up. Tell them how much you love their garden, that it reminds you of gardening with your grandmother as a child. Do not mention you're gonna bulldoze it and put in a pool. The owner may accept the offer, reject it, or counter. It's important to be in close contact with your realtor during the negotiation process so any changes can be reviewed. Your realtor is like your consigliere, and that makes you the Don. Once your offer is finally accepted, there are usually some contingencies that must be met in order to keep the contract alive. Inspections are totally common in real estate transactions. They include termite checks, surveys to determine boundaries, appraisals to determine value for lenders, title reviews, and structural inspections. This stuff is mind-numbingly fascinating. But you know what's even more fascinating? Actually getting your new house.
Welcome back to Spokane Talks Live, and this is kind of a little fun segment before Don Moragan comes on. And Collin, you just got back from a trip to Washington, D.C., other Washington.
I did.
Why in the heck would you go to that other Washington? What was that about?
Politics.
Politics.
Politics. No, not this time. But they're definitely full of politics in Washington, D.C.
They're definitely full
but
in Washington, D.C.
But I attended a Washington Leadership Conference through the FFA organization, the Future Farmers of America, and it was a 5-day conference. You can see the picture of the Capitol in the distance that I took from the museum when we were in downtown D.C. It was really an amazing trip, and I've been to D.C. before. 2 years ago.
And they let you back.
Yeah, surprisingly. There's me holding that Washington Monument. I'm so strong. Yeah. I cannot believe that. Isn't that impressive? But this time when I went to D.C., seeing the monuments and all of those things were so much, I was so much more appreciative this time.
Okay. Yeah.
It meant a lot more, I thought. And I
well,
think
yeah,
that's
you're so old now.
Yeah, I'm so old now. Yeah, I think it's because I'm a couple years older.
Yeah.
The White House and
yeah.
So it was a really great trip. There's so much going on in D.C. between the floor activity in the Capitol and the White House and all the monuments and the tourists there. I said, I could live there for a couple of years, definitely.
Yeah. Now the picture of you in front of the White House, I made the comment, and others have too, have made the comment to me, how did Collin get a picture with none of the other tourists around you? And you just, what was your answer?
I pushed them away.
Such a shy young fellow, right?
I said, scoot. And I got my picture in front of the White House. So that was neat. It's such, you see pictures of the White House on the internet, and it's like, it looks like a nice house. When you see it in person, though,
not a bad place.
So it's like bleach white. It is impressive.
Now let me ask the White House question.
Yes.
Who was the first president to actually live in the White House?
Thomas Jefferson.
No. What's my last name?
Was it John Adams?
Yes.
Okay, I thought it was being...
He was still being worked on, but he lived there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You just got called out for being wrong.
Yeah,
I know. It's kind of nice to win
yeah.
with you kids. And over here is Gunnar
Rohrholm.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, everybody gets it wrong, but I live with it.
How do they say it? Rohrholm?
Sometimes they just don't say it at all.
Yeah. Well, that's what
just
I was thinking. Yeah. It was the safe way. Yeah.
Exactly.
Now, Gunnar, where did Gunnar come from? Is that a family name or anything?
No, I don't know myself. I was going to be named Sven.
Sven?
Okay.
Yeah, and my brother Eric was going to be named Thor.
Okay.
So
I know a cat named Thor. Okay.
Those are very different names.
I'm glad that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Norwegian.
Yeah.
I don't know, actually.
Yeah.
I'd ask.
Is this mainly your mom? Probably.
Probably.
Yeah, knowing your mom.
Everything.
Yeah, we know your mom, don't we? Yeah. I think she lives on Facebook 24/7.
Yes, it's beginning to be a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because there's no privacy for you, is there? Well,
No.
Gunnar was just here. Eric was just there. And then
there's pictures
now
everywhere.
Now it's only going to get worse starting Friday, right?
Yes.
And why is that? Tell our audience, why is that?
I am going to Europe for a 12-day trip with my mother, and that is going to be it's going to be beautiful.
Yeah, right.
It's gonna be
Now, your
great.
brother did this
Yes.
3 or 4 years ago, right? So this is
Something
kind of
like
a
that.
family tradition.
It's becoming that, and
Yeah.
I'm not my favorite tradition, but it's a tradition.
He's like, 12 days will be enough.
Yeah.
12 days enough.
Okay, so now I told your mom I've sent out information to our State Department to warn them
Yes.
that you and your mom will be there and expect lots of selfies.
Lots of trouble.
Yeah. So are you going to do something for us while you're over there?
Yes, I'm bringing a selfie stick so I can be a tourist.
Oh.
Did you actually get one?
Yes.
Did you have one before?
No.
Oh.
I may have
That's
taken
hilarious.
it without permission.
Yeah.
But that stays between us.
Oh, okay.
And the people watching.
Yeah. Okay. So you take off on Friday, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Or no, Sunday.
Sunday. Okay.
Yes.
Well, I knew it was coming up. I just
Yeah.
didn't know which
At
day.
some point.
Well, we all want to mark it on our calendars so we know when you're gone. Okay.
So they know when to look at the news.
Yeah,
For
exactly.
something that happened in either Rome, Barcelona, and some other places.
Some other places. Okay.
Some other places.
All right. Guess where we are today, right? Yeah. And come this fall or later this summer, you're going to do something with us. What are you going to do with us?
I'm going to have a show where I do whatever I feel like every episode.
Okay. Well, thank goodness we're on the internet and not on
Yes.
broadcast TV, right?
Exactly.
Okay. That's kind of my thought. Gunnar, good to have you on board. And we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with,
Don
Lord,
Moragan.
Don Moragan. All right.
Today, I will spark an idea.
Today, I'll help a student uncover the mysteries of DNA.
Today, I will nurture creativity.
Today, I'll help someone figure it out.
Today, I will protect our future by digging into the past.
Today, I will build a business that makes learning fun.
How will the future look?
What will we discover?
Invent.
Create.
Will we find ways to revive our planet?
Develop meaningful, high-paying jobs.
When most of those jobs don't even exist yet.
It'll happen because
We'll be the ones who invent those jobs.
It starts with better skills in math and science.
Engineering.
Technology.
and the arts.
It takes a willingness to try.
And fail.
And try again.
Because great things never happen on the first try.
Some communities are defined by geography.
Ours is defined by a vision.
That encourages everyone.
To develop a passion for learning.
It happens when high school freshmen learn college-level science.
When a teacher learns robotics.
When ideas are sparked with play.
By providing the tools to tinker.
And the space to create.
And our future gets better when we learn from our past.
I'm Randy.
I'm Mike.
I'm Brooke.
I'm Lexi.
She's Barb.
He's Marty.
We're all connected by a credit union.
That's invested in our community
For over 80 years.
Supporting teaching, learning,
And creating.
To make sure your future
and mine.
Are here for good.
SDCU, here for good.
Snoring can disrupt marriages and cause serious health problems. Call Sleep Better Northwest first, the experts in dental sleep medicine. Their medically approved, custom-fit oral appliances will have both you and your partner sleeping better and being more productive throughout your day. Don't wait. Snoring and sleep apnea can signal potential strokes or heart attacks. For more information, visit needbettersleepnow.com and download our health guide today. Sleep Better Northwest, the experts in dental sleep medicine.
Is your child having trouble coping with a personal disability, but don't know where to go? Consider our friends at Breakthrough Incorporated. Breakthrough takes great pride in mentoring their DDA clients who have intellectual disabilities and their BRS clients who have challenging behaviors toward the creation of safe, appropriate, ethically sound life goals. They integrate programs at school and home to enrich their lives. They work hard to make a positive difference in you and your family's lives. Breakthrough provides a highly structured, fully staffed residential setting in local neighborhoods, 6 in Spokane and 2 in the Tri-Cities. diagnosis affect people differently, so their service to each resident is unique, giving them the opportunity to grow and evolve. For more information on Breakthrough, visit their website at breakthroughincorporated.org.
Alrighty, welcome back to Spokane Talks Live by the financial advisor, Don Moragan.
The only.
The one, the only.
I like that.
The man, the myth, the legend.
That's right.
Yes.
We need to get the music to get.
Yeah, what did you pay him to say that?
You like that?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
We need like a music intro for you.
Yeah.
Money, money, money.
No, the theme from the Imperial March from Star Wars.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, especially this subject.
You know, I've never seen a Star Wars movie, and I don't care that I haven't.
Well, and this is completely off topic, but one of my best friends, who's a prolific author, insists that Star Wars killed science fiction.
Oh, okay.
And I won't bore you with that
That's
today.
another day.
That's another day. So
spenders and savers.
I think
and marriage.
I think
And
since I
marriage.
just said that about Star Wars, Gunner's walking out the door. He's not
Yeah.
going to be associated with this anymore.
Well, remember, for Gunner,
Sven?
Star Wars.
Sven?
No. Be nice.
Okay.
That's ancient history.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, that was in the 80s.
And I never saw 2000 Space Odyssey in 2001, whatever it is.
Right.
You wanna
But
read
I
the
walked
book
on the
first.
set because it was across the street from where I worked in Culver City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A friend of mine used to own that studio.
Oh, okay.
He's actually a pirate, Whitworth grad.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I thought you meant a pirate.
Yeah, I
Okay.
was
Anyway,
thinking, who has he
anyways.
robbed recently? Okay, but
Well, he's the movie studio owner.
yeah,
I think.
okay, all right.
Of course, he's a pirate.
Let's talk money.
Money, well, and money and marriage.
Yeah,
Money's what people fight about. It's not the only thing.
but it's high on the list.
It's well, and the problem is communication.
Yeah.
And some people are spenders and some people are savers. If my wife had her way, every dollar she's ever earned would be in the bank, rubbing up against every other dollar and pouring off little baby dollars, and they would just keep growing and growing and growing. Interest,
Are you
absolutely.
old enough to be hearing this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm trusting you to make sure that everyone here is of age.
Yeah.
And your viewers are all over 13.
Right.
Right.
Well, we'd hope.
Barely.
Well, some of us
Yeah.
never grow up.
Some of us act 13.
But if you're a spender and you're married to a saver, and I tend to be the one who is the spender in my family, my wife is a saver, this is not uncommon.
Yeah.
In order to survive, you have to create a dialogue. Now, there's some data out there that suggests that women are a little better about money than men, but there are women that are spenders and men that are savers. The key is, what did Polonius say?
To work together.
Well, first know yourself.
Yeah.
And then develop a analysis of where you are, track your spending.
Yeah.
Have a diary. It can be online. I mean, there's lots of apps. There's lots of programs.
Banks supply those these days.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then create a plan. There's a word I don't like. I'm going to use it once, then I won't use it again on today's show. It's called a budget.
Okay.
It has bad connotations because it's got a B in it. So don't use the B word.
Okay.
Create a spending plan. Spenders like spending plans.
Yes.
Right? So I like having a plan because I get permission to spend on the stuff I want to spend on.
Yeah, that certain amount.
Right.
Spend it how you wish.
That's right. So you have a spending plan. Part of the spending plan ought to be Ben Franklin's advice, which was, because he went to school with you, right?
Yeah.
Pay yourself
Penny saved.
first.
Oh, okay. Penny saved, penny earned.
Penny saved, penny earned, poor Richard. But he also said pay yourself first.
Okay.
So one of your expenses in your spending plan ought to be a savings plan.
Okay.
Because if you save a little bit every month, slowly and then more rapidly,
It does add up.
it does. And the interest adds up, not as
Right.
rapidly today as it used to.
Right.
But the day will come when the refrigerator breaks down, the transmission fails, you need new tires, the kids need orthodontia, whatever it is, and you have the cash. You don't have to go in debt.
Right.
So a spending plan is the essential first step to marital harmony, in my opinion, at least in the world of finance. Have a plan, work the plan, and the last part, forgive each other when you make mistakes.
Because you're gonna.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and then that comes down to, should you know where each dollar is going? You're gonna save this amount. You can spend this amount, or should you just kind of like just free roam your money?
No, the just free run doesn't work because money is like water. If I pour this out, I won't. But it's gone.
Yeah.
All right. You spend the money, it's gone. You
Right.
can't unspend it.
Right.
So you have to have a plan. How tightly should the plan be controlled? There's a study in math now called fuzzy logic, and it's a really complicated way to do it. But basically, you have to have some flexibility. That's all. Have a strict plan and try and stick to it, and then forgive yourself when you break it a little bit. And get up and do it again.
All right, Don. Thanks for joining us.
And where can people
As always.
get more of this great information?
Yes.
IndependentWealthConnections.com on
That's
the
good.
internet.
I've heard the guy that runs that is pretty good,
Yeah,
pretty nice guy.
He's pretty nice.
We got to get the theme music, though.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
we'll work on that.
All right. Hey, thanks for watching. What's the temperature outside?
Hot.
97.
97.
hot.
Ooh,
Yeah,
almost
it's-
triple digits.
It's almost, and he wants triple digits, something bad.
It's coming.
I know.
It'll be here
It's
soon.
coming.
I know.
Summertime.
Summertime. Hey, thanks for watching today. We'll see you next week on Spokane Talks Live.
Spokane Talks Live is produced in Spokane, Washington by Spokane Talks Online LLC, which is solely responsible for its content. To recommend a guest or topic, or to see this program again, please visit our website, SpokaneTalksOnline.com. Spokane Talks Live is brought to you by our friends at Homes for You and Breakthrough Incorporated. Join us next Wednesday, noon, for another nourishing conversation on Spokane Talks Live.